and LSU Trevor. Thank y'all for having us. Obviously, LSU holds a special place in all of our hearts. I'm from Lafayette. I live in Baton Rouge. I feel like I'm still part of this program, even though I don't play here. We've had the privilege of beating a lot of the players that have come through the last couple of years. So we're very honored to be on stage. Aren't here to listen to me talk or Jared talk. Y'all here to hear Kevin Gausman talk. You said he was a finalist. He was actually a runner-up. I think he should have won the Cy Young. He did not, but he's excited for my life. Appreciate that, man. No problem. Before we start, I have a quick story. The first time I ever met Kevin Gausman. He was a senior in high school. He was coming to visit LSU. He wasn't supposed to come to college. He was supposed to be drafted pretty high, get a bunch of money. And I told Coach Maneri I was going to tell the story. I'm going to say the G version of it, the G-rated version of it. But Coach Maneri brought me and Anthony Ronaldo into his office the night before Kevin got here. And he said, I don't care what y'all do, as long as y'all stay within the rules, we have got to have this guy on campus. I cannot let him leave Baton Rouge without him committing. And so we went to a nice dinner, and went to a movie. We did all the things that we needed to do. And the next day he showed up and he committed to LSU. So it was a great movie. He mentioned you're from Colorado. It's a long ways away from Baton Rouge. You come here on a visit, kind of a culture shock, right? You come here. What was something that Baton Rouge, Louisiana, LSU had that drew you to Baton Rouge and made you want to be a part of this program? And then, honestly, just really live here. I know your wife's from here, but you live here now, you make this home in the offseason, you can go anywhere you want, you play in Toronto. What made LSU so special? What made Baton Rouge so special for you?
You know, for me at the time, being from Denver, like you said, you don't hear much about LSU baseball in Denver, you know. You hear about the Arizona States, you know, the University of Arizona, everything kind of west of you, but you don't really hear about Louisiana. You know, I don't know if at the time I could have picked Louisiana off the map, honestly. And I tell this story all the time. My freshman year, I met a girl from Burley and started talking about fishing, and at the time I thought that the lakes at LSU were connected to the Gulf of Mexico. So freshman is not, okay? You might think it looks like it is, but you know, being from Denver, that's the biggest lake I've ever seen, you know? So yeah, we could probably deep sea fish it, like why not? And so, yeah, but you know, for me, I wanted to come to a place that I kind of knew what I was going to get. Obviously, my last year in high school, you know, second to last year, you guys won it all. So, you know, being able to kind of see what you guys did, the brand that they have here, you know, obviously the program. It's funny, I've gone to Omaha so many years growing up, but I couldn't tell you what team was purple and gold. You know, I was just a naive kid, and then kind of connected the dots once I committed. But yeah, you know, I came here really thinking about if I want to pitch in front of 40,000 at one point, coming to the place that packs the stadium the most in the country is probably going to help as a pitcher. So it definitely has a lot to do with it.
Before we move on to the professional side of your career, I feel like LSU is a place, you mentioned it, right? All of the fans, 12, 13, 14,000 people that you have watching you day in and day out in postseason play. I feel like that just prepares you for the next level, right? If you've never had a chance to experience minor league baseball, it's not great. You don't get a ton of fans. But when you get to Major League Baseball and you're playing meaningful games, it's a lot of people. It's very hectic and it's very stressful. And if you've never been around it, you've never experienced it, it can kind of, take you back and put you in a position where you don't feel like you can't really perform. How do you feel like LSU prepared you for those situations? Because you've played in the playoffs. I think your rookie year, right? In Baltimore, you're in the postseason.
Yeah, 14, yep.
Yeah. And so how do you feel like LSU prepared you for those moments?
I think you just kind of, and it's the media too, it's everything here. You go to any other program in the country besides, two, media days here at LSU are crazy. The amount of people, it's the most cameras you've ever had in your face in your life. So, that definitely prepares you for the next level. I was lucky enough to get drafted in the first round, and that comes with a lot of interviews, a lot of questions. And so that was another thing that LSU just kind of helped prepare me in, and, just kind of set the foundation for what to expect. And also having Alan Dunn as our pitching coach who was, in pro ball for a long time, a lot like Wes. And so, having those people around that you can kind of lean on that, kind of know what to expect and what it takes to be a big leaguer and to be a good, consistent pitcher every single day.
Kevin, your career to this point has been very accomplished and well documented, right? This room is getting a chance to kind of see what's behind the door a little bit. We all know drafted by Baltimore, started there, got to the big leagues there, but there was a crossroad in your career, right? Where things could have gone left and things went right. Can you talk about some of the things that were pivotal for you at that point that kind of pushed you to the right side and kind of propelled you to where you are today?
Yeah, so I kind of always tell everybody, I've kind of been in every situation that you could imagine. I've been the high prospect who got called up maybe way too early than he should have. But also been the young guy that nobody could kind of rely on. And then, I've been the worst pitcher on the best team in baseball and, the best pitcher on the best team in baseball. And so I've kind of done everything in between. And that's kind of helped me to just kind of stay the course, I guess. And, the season is such a roller coaster that, if you kind of let your emotions, live with your emotions, you're going to ride those highs and lows hard. And so, I've been lucky I'm surrounded by amazing people. My wife being, the constant and through all those years, ups and downs. And, she's my therapist, everything in between. Pitching coach at times, so she's been there through it all. But I've been DFA'd before. I was non-tendered and, questioned if I should keep going. And, it's crazy. COVID was probably the best thing that ever happened to me, honestly. I changed my delivery right before COVID and, went into spring training that year really feeling good, and then COVID hit. And was back here in Baton Rouge for the first time in the summertime since college.
Golf courses.
Yeah, throwing in my backyard. Actually, Milazzo was catching me. There's a pond in University Club that's got a lot of baseballs in it. Just working on things. But if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And like I said earlier, there's always somebody that's coming for you. And so, you got to be able to kind of know what you need to work on to get better. But for me, the best thing that ever happened to me was COVID, because I was able to just sit at home, throw bullpens, and wonder why people even lived here in the summertime, because it's so hot. It's crazy. Like the bugs too. It's the first summer I've been here since college. I'm like, what? These are birds that are, attacking me. They're mosquitoes. But all those things have kind of shaped me into the pitcher and the person that I am now. And I wouldn't change any of those downs, and a lot of sleepless nights at times. But it's made all the success even sweeter.
Especially for the players, right? You talked about COVID being huge for you, which COVID was basically an arena for you to sit here and just learn yourself. We've talked before, and you've told me what turned things really around for you was the simple fact that you were able to identify the things that you do best and continue to make sure that that's what you harped on and that's what you did. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I had a pitching coach when I was with the Reds. I was with the Reds for about 2 months in 2019, and was the last guy they were putting in the game. And so, I had a lot of time to throw bullpens, so I wasn't pitching too much. So, got to work on things and really kind of found out the pitcher that I am and what makes me special. And that's pitching north and south and not pitching west and east like the majority of guys do in the big leagues. And so once I kind of honed in on that, and I'm a 2-pitch guy, that my primary secondary pitch is a pitch that 98% of the league doesn't throw. So I think those things definitely help me. I throw more splits than anybody in baseball, and I have for the last 4 or 5 years, and it's probably going to only get more so the older I get. I'm going to be leaning on that pitch for sure. So it's one of those things. He had a great quote, the pitching coach, when I was with the Reds, that be great at what you're good at. And so I think a lot of times as a player, you kind of try to fit molds of guys you play with, guys that you see every single day, or every kid in this country wants to pitch like Jacob deGrom and, be like Max Scherzer, but those guys are anomalies. Their bodies can move ways that you just can't teach. And so once I kind of honed in on who am I as a pitcher and what makes me really great, and then just doing things to make those two things even better and better, my career is kind of taking off.
So we're running out of time, but I have one more question because I think this is important. Baseball is a game of failure. You go through a bunch of adversity. You talk about that you got to a crossroads and you went the right direction, right? You made some changes you need to make. You went from that to COVID, right? Which is, COVID was obviously a pretty crazy situation. You have one of your better years of your career, and then you go through free agency the next year. And I got a firsthand look at this because me and you were training together, and I got to kind of get a backdoor or behind the scenes look at this. And you had opportunities, you had multi-year deals for multiple teams. And you decided I'm going to take a 1-year deal and bet on myself and go back to San Francisco, and you have the next best year of your career. And you go to free agency again, and you sign a deal with Toronto, and you get to pick where you wanted to go, and you were one of the best right-handed pitchers in all of baseball in the free agent market. 2 years before that, you didn't know if you were going to be playing baseball. You didn't know what job you were going to get. Talk about how you got through that adversity and what you had to do mentally, because baseball is such a tough sport mentally. And you went from 1 year not knowing what was going to happen to 2 years later being the top right-handed pitcher in free agency.
Yeah, a lot of conversations with my wife, kind of trying to figure out, do we want to, shout out to my wife, Taylor, like Charles, but
Awesome, Daryl, you're talking about Daryl's special.
Yeah, the Daryl special kind of hot over there. But lots of conversations with her, do we want to be here, or do we want to be all the way in San Francisco? And it's a long ways from here. I got 2 kids now, and so when they would travel to see me, it's a 9-hour travel day just for them to get there. And then all the things that COVID brought, and just the city of San Francisco during COVID was ground zero. It was shut down. You couldn't even get a sandwich from anywhere. So, but just a lot of conversations and really just kind of betting on ourselves. And you work so hard to get to that spot, to get to free agency. And so to be in a situation to where you kind of have, you have the cards in your hand. So you kind of can decide for the first time in your career, what direction you want to take. And that's taken us to another country, and that's in Canada. And so, it's super unique being one team that represents an entire country. And, they're definitely hockey fans first, but, they love the Blue Jays during the summertime. They love coming out to games. They don't necessarily know that much about baseball, but, it's great. And it's awesome being in AL East. I spent my first 6 years of my career there, so, I know all those ballparks pretty well, and given up a lot of home runs in just about all of them. So, they're all pretty small. So it's not the greatest place to pitch, but that's where you want to be. The AL East is the Power 5 or the SEC of the big league. So it's really cool.
I know I speak for all the fans, and I speak for myself. I'm excited to watch the rest of your career unfold. I'm happy that I got to be a small part of it at LSU and then continue to be a part of it as your friend moving forward. And Jared feels the same way. I wish I have a lot I want to talk about. We don't have enough time. We're getting kicked off of the stage. Y'all don't want to hear us. I'm going to let you have the last remarks, the intro. Coach Jay Johnson, he's coming on after us. He's the man of the hour. You were the second man. I guess you were the man of the hour. You were the second man.
I'm on deck. I'm on deck.
So, you go for it.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, being a guy from Denver, I came here, to play baseball, but I stayed because of the people. And, if you're a freshman in this room, if you've been able to get around and interact with people around here, anybody in here will give you the shirt off their back and not even think twice about it. So that's really rare to find nowadays, and that's, why we have 120 tables or however many there are here, and why this thing gets bigger every single year. But, just kind of those young guys just kind of hone in on, you represent an entire state and a lot of people that really care about this program and doing things the right way. But, just wanted to say that, but, this is the most important guy that we're all here to listen to, and that's Coach Jay Johnson of the defending national champion LSU Tigers.